Welcome to another episode of OnePittsfield, a bi-weekly television show focusing on the mayor's office and the communication with the city of Pittsfield. Today, we're actually on the road. We're here at the Lichtenstein Center for the Arts, and in a little bit, we'll also be talking with Jen Glockner, who is our Cultural Development Director. We're going to talk today about some of the things that we've been doing over the last couple of weeks. We're going to talk about what's on the February 27th City Council agenda, and then we'll talk a little bit more about some of the work we're doing, and then I really want to spend some time talking to Jen Glockner and highlighting the work that Jen does, and I think we have a pretty exciting announcement to come up with as the day goes on. So let's start. Most of the 10 by 10 festival has come to a close. You still have an opportunity to go to the Barrington stage and see some of the 10 by 10 plays that they still have going on through a portion of the month of March. We were able to gather in downtown Pittsfield at the Common to watch a wonderful fireworks display. And if you were a crazy person like I was, you had your passport and you were running to every single restaurant that you could get to in downtown. 17 restaurants in less than 17 days is a pretty big deal. And although I'm taping this in advance, I think I have 3 more restaurants to make before it closes. And I will have had every single restaurant hit and 2 of the 3 special bonus prizes. So, it was an opportunity to be in downtown, support our downtown, and be seen by our neighbors and show our downtown that we care. We had 2 meetings in the last 2 weeks with our stakeholders in our downtown, both the business owners, the property owners, residents. We've heard loud and clear through the campaign and since we've been in office that we have a problem in the downtown. And so I asked Commissioner Morales and Interim Police Chief Dolly to join me and having a conversation with the residents, the business owners, and stakeholders in the downtown. I think it was a pretty fruitful meeting that we had. There will be more to come, but we have promised some downtown bike patrols for our downtown in certain time frames to be able to allow folks to feel safer while they're shopping in our downtown. I also think, for a future show, we're going to highlight the 5 to 7 new businesses that have opened in our downtown to show that we are making progress bringing retail back to our downtown. We've begun the work, as I said at the last meeting, with the fiscal year 25 budget. That is proving to be a very interesting experience as my first budget, and more to come with that. In the last 2 weeks, we also had coffee and conversation at the senior center with our seniors. It was a really fantastic crowd that showed up, standing room only in the little breakfast area of the senior center, and we'll have to move to a bigger location as we go forward. There was standing room only, lots of great conversation, lots of great questions, and actually some good suggestions about things that we can put into place as we move forward. So let's talk about the City Council meeting coming up on February 27th as we continue our work of updating boards and commissions, something that I really feel is an important piece of where we are. And a reminder, if folks are willing to serve on a board or commission, they can call my office at 413-499-9321, or they can email mayorsoffice@cityofpittsfield.org. So some of the appointments that we have coming up, we have Jared LeBeau, who is going to be appointed to the School Building Needs Commission. We have John Liffergan, who is being appointed to the Licensing Board. And we have reappointments of Mick Callahan, Jonathan Denmark, Paul Dalton, George Whaling, and Leo Yantoski, and Adam Rice as members of the PETA Board. The city has 3 more grants, and I think if you've been paying attention to city politics, grants are a very important piece of how our city operates, and we have a lot of great folks, including Jen Glockner, who is great at going out and getting grants for the city of Pittsfield. So our annual RSVP grant has come in. It's $52,500, and that helps fund our RSVP program. We have $32,000 from the Massachusetts Executive Office of Public Safety and Security, and that's the Pittsfield Police Department grant for critical incident stress management. And then we have a $5,000 grant from the Massachusetts Department of Public Health to help us with folks that have gambling problems. In addition, we have some responses that members of the City Council have brought forward, and so we have responded to both Councilors Conant and in regards to the PitSmart application. Councilor Conant is asking us to create a working committee to create the PitSmart app. We have already begun that process, and so my response kind of goes back to at the last City Council meeting, we talked about doing a better job of responding to constituents when they send us emails and PitSmart. And also, Councillor Persip and Rin requested an update on city website with all agendas and backup materials being in the same place. We are in the process of doing a complete revamp of the website, as we talked about at the last meeting. And so we'll continue to put that on hold until the new website comes to fruition. But I do agree with both Councillors Persip and Rin that we need one central location, not just for agendas, but all the backup material, so the folks at home that are paying attention to the meetings know what's going on. And then lastly, we have a response for Councillor Conant, who requested an update on some public service activities. And so where are we with potholes? Where are we with manhole covers? Where are we with line painting? And Commissioner Morales has put that forward. We have a borrowing request for Commissioner Morales in regards to some Holmes Road sewer work that needs to be completed, and that is a $650,000 borrowing. And we have a previous year expense from Commissioner Morales that needs to be completed. You know, as we've done in our previous shows, before I introduce Jen Glockner and have a great conversation about what's happening here at the Liechtenstein Center and our new exciting event for downtown Pittsfield, I just want to take a few minutes to congratulate a couple of local businesses. And again, we remind folks that if your business is one of those people that are reaching a milestone, my office would love to know about it so that we can share it with the community. And so first, we have Schilling TV, who most recently celebrated their 75th year in business. And we welcomed Marie's North Street Eatery and Gallery, where we celebrated their official grand opening. They've been in downtown for a couple months now, but we've officially recognized them and done their opening. Hot Plate Brewing Company and Interprint were recently recognized in Mass Econ as honorees for outstanding contributions within the Massachusetts economy. Hot Plate was selected as the silver honoree for the Western region, and Interprint was selected for the bronze. So I want to offer congratulations to both companies for representing Pittsfield and putting us on the map, and thank them for their dedication to the community. As I said, if your business is one of those businesses that is celebrating a milestone or deserves recognition citywide, then by all means, please contact my office, because I think the more that we can get information out, the more we can celebrate Pittsfield. So now, I think the most exciting part of this show is going to be the conversation that I have with Jen Glockner, who is the Director of the Office of Cultural Development. And so, you know, I think this is somewhat of a big deal for me to have been the city councilor sitting on the city council when we started talking about creating this department.
Yes.
And now actually being able to be the mayor and help this department go. So Jen, welcome aboard. And,
Thank you.
And thanks for joining me as the first voluntold department head for the city.
I'm very happy to be that guinea pig. Yes, I love to shout from the rooftops that Pittsfield is so lucky to have an Office of Cultural Development. It's rare in the state of Massachusetts and in the country to have an Office of Cultural Development within the city departments. We are sitting at the table with the building and maintenance, the treasurer's department, the commissioner of public works, the building inspectors. We are a department in the city of Pittsfield. And it's awesome that Pittsfield thinks so highly of culture to have its own department. So thank you for continuing that.
So I mean, I think there's so much to talk about, right? The history of the building, what's in the building. I think it becomes one of my places to be on a regular basis. Usually when I come here, I need to bring my wallet because there's events that are taking place that, you know, I think are important for folks to truly understand. Since I've been mayor or mayor-elect, I've been here twice. One, in both times, for great events. One, you were the host of the Pittsfield High School Arts show where they had art on the wall, pottery all over the gallery to be sold.
Yes.
And if you purchased an item from them, you got a free butternut bisque butternut squash bisque to take with you, and also your donation to purchase went to a local food pantry.
Yes, that was the Empty Bowl fundraiser. One of many things we do with the Pittsfield Public Schools. We love, this is the Liechtenstein Center for the Arts. It's a city-owned building. We are in the gallery portion of the building, which most of the public sees. This is a show that is ending before this goes live, but the artists in the show are the Clock Tower artists. And they are over in the Eagle Building at 75 South Church Street. This is Joni Chofe's painting behind us. And it's one of about 10 to 12 shows that we have over the course of the year. The one you referenced was with the Pittsfield Public School Systems. We have the Pittsfield High School students coming back here in May for their annual Art in the Schools show. We have the Berkshire Art Association coming in here for the Unfinished show in March. We have their college fellowship show in April. Another show coming in June with two amazing artists, Michelle Daly and Ellie Kreischner. We have CATA every year. Community Access to the Arts is here, and we've expanded it to July and August. They have 150 plus works of art from CATA artists, and it's just the most magical feeling to see the artists come in and see their work on the walls. And it's all for sale with the commission going towards the artists of CATA. So it's awesome. This building is awesome. The history is Kitty Liechtenstein, who many people in Pittsfield know. I never had the honor of meeting her. She was an arts philanthropist in the 80s, and she bought this building and donated it to the city of Pittsfield. So it's called the Liechtenstein Center for the Arts. We have 9 artist studios in this building on the 2nd and 3rd floors. Artists rent those spaces, and the money goes to the city of Pittsfield. We have a studio in the basement, a pottery studio that Jim Horsford, a former middle school ceramics teacher, runs. You can take classes at that studio. And we have events here. For the 10 by 10, we hosted the Word by Word. The artists here at the 10 by 10 hosted programming throughout the 10 days. So this is your building, residents of Pittsfield. I mean, we really want you to come and experience it, and all the shows that are here. And if you work for an organization that might need a place to host a educational gathering, then we are here for that. We want you to come explore. We meet people all the time that say, oh my gosh, I've never been in this building, which come see it. It's amazing.
Well, I think we hear from people in Pittsfield all the time, we didn't know that was happening, or we didn't know this was happening. We don't know that that building exists. And you and I, maybe a month or two ago, took a tour through the entire building. And although I'm not a stranger to the Liechtenstein Center, I think might have been the first time in my history of being a city councilor that I made it to the 3rd floor to look at, some of the studios. And we quietly knocked on doors. Hello, is anyone home? So that we could actually take a peek at the studio. And it was a great experience to kind of talk to a resident artist that was like, yeah, this is my thing. Mm-hmm. And I think there was paint all over. She was in the middle of one of her pieces of art.
Yep.
So it was kind of a great experience. Although I'm really disappointed in you. You left out my favorite event of the year here at the Liechtenstein Center.
We didn't get to December. That is
We
correct.
didn't get to December, where you host the wreath auction, which is a great fundraiser for the South Food Pantry. Mm-hmm. And so folks come out and challenge me to bidding on the wreaths next December. I'll make sure that Jen reminds you.
It gets
that
very feisty in
here.
an amazing way. There's a live auction, and people go home with beautiful wreaths, but most importantly, we raise thousands of dollars for the South Community Food Pantry. Over the course of the last several years, it's been more than $45,000, I think we figured out that we've raised. So it's a great event and a community event. This is a community, city-owned building, and so we want to do as many things for the community as we can.
So if I wanted to become a resident artist, I believe when I toured it was completely full.
Yes.
But if I wanted to become a resident artist, is there a waiting list?
There
or
is
a process
a waiting.
to get in?
Yes, there is a waiting list. You can always email us cultural.development@cityofpittsfield.org, and we will guide you into the proper steps. There is a waiting list here, but there are other studios available at the Clock Tower Artist Studios. New Arts is another great place on North and Union Street, and there's other other places too. So we're happy we have a list that we send out because we want, of course, the arts are alive and well in Pittsfield. And so the more artists, the better.
So I think we've really talked about a lot that your office does, and I think we would be remiss to say that it's a mighty office of two. You know, folks kind of say, hey, who is this Office of Cultural Development? And when you look at some of the stuff, so the 10 by 10 festival is just finishing up, but your office is probably most widely known for the creation of Third Thursday, and Third Thursday's had many iterations. And are there other pieces of what happens here that you would want to share with the public before we get to our really grand announcement?
Yes, well, I do think that we are the first point of contact for arts organizations and artists. So we are often the connecting people. If you call this office and say, I want to start a Pittsfield Shakespeare in the Park festival, we say, do it. Here's how you do it. We connect you with the most appropriate people. The farmers market started in this office. We want to start a farmers market. So we are connectors. I would say if you have any ideas bubbling about arts and culture, please let us know. We're also in the heart of creating a cultural plan for the city of Pittsfield alongside Berkshire's Tomorrow, which is the nonprofit arm of Berkshire Regional Planning Commission. So if you want to be involved in that, please contact us. We are asking people from all neighborhoods in Pittsfield to be involved. There's artists, there's cultural organizations. And so if you are interested in being involved in creating that cultural plan, please let us know, because we're in the heart of doing that as we speak.
And you are responsible, in a sense, for two boards
Yes.
that work within the city?
We have the Tourism Commission and the Cultural Development Board under our purview. Also, the Pittsfield Cultural Council is a partner in this office as well. The one most active board right now is the Tourism Commission. So again, contact the mayor's office or our office directly if you want to be involved in any of those commissions.
And earlier, I guess I alluded to grants in your office, and so your office budget is pretty small for all of the items that we've talked about. From a grant perspective, and this was not rehearsed, so I'm putting you on the spot, sorry for that. About how much on a yearly basis does your office bring in grant money?
Yeah, I mean, I would say depending on the year, it ranges from $15,000 to $150,000. And most of the events that we do out of this office are grant or sponsorship based. The general fund is not used for events or programming out of this office. We get grants from the Mass Cultural Council, from local organizations, amazing support from organizations and companies like Greylock Federal Credit Union, Guardian Life Insurance, Mountain One, General Dynamics, Lenco. All of these entities have been sponsors of ours over the past several years, so we're very grateful. Mass Cultural Council, NEA, the National Endowment for the Arts, is the one that's funding this cultural plan. So we're so lucky to have all these grants available within the county, but also federally, that it's fortunate.
So when we look at your department that has a budget less than $150,000, you could bring in $150,000 in funding from other sources. So you kind of pay for yourself, and then no taxpayer dollars goes to all the exciting events that the folks from Pittsfield and beyond can come into downtown Pittsfield and enjoy. And I think that that's a piece that the general public has to understand, that maybe we're unique in having an Office of Cultural Development, but I think if we really take the time to say, hey, this happens and this doesn't happen and this happens, we definitely get our money's worth from a department that doesn't really impact tax dollars at all.
But benefits the taxpayers greatly.
Correct.
Yes.
So I think that's kind of important. So, Jen, when I took office, we had a lot of conversations about Third Thursday. We had a meeting about 3 weeks ago, and we came into that meeting, and I'm just like, Third Thursday, we need to bring it back to North Street. And there was, oh, but Mayor, it's in the Common, it's great, and no, North Street. And then all of a sudden it was like, can we just do something different? Love Third Thursday. Third Thursday, I think, has served the community well, but I think anytime you're getting to the point where you're doing the 14th or 15th annual of something, it's kind of like, you know, we know it, we do it. So we sat through a meeting and I was like, oh, I'm pushing buttons. I don't think, and then all of a sudden the creative juices went on, the lights went on, and I'm like, you know, why do we even have to do one? Can't we just do something completely different? Can't we take a couple events and put them together? Can't we be bolder? Can't we be bigger? Can't we be more exciting? And then all of a sudden, the light bulb went on and all the creative juices started flowing, and I had to sit there and go, okay, I'm listening, you guys keep going, because I'm not that guy. So I'm very proud of this office and the other people around the table that really have nothing to do with your office, but are involved when we do events, that we quickly started to come up with a new concept, a new idea, and we created a new event that really, it's going to take 2 events, put them together, but put tons more resources behind it and hope to liven up the downtown. So this is your
Drum
thing.
roll,
Drum roll. I mean, I'm excited that we were able to come up with something and change.
Yes.
But
it's very exciting. First Fridays at 5. We are officially announcing First Fridays at 5. And Third Thursday and First Fridays Arts Walk will both be under that umbrella. Obviously, it will be the first Friday of the month, May through September is the concept. We will be closing a portion of North Street. We will be working with the businesses. We will be working with the arts and cultural world to create this most amazing event, and everyone will want to come to downtown Pittsfield on the first Friday of the month and beyond. It's going to be a ripple effect. It's going to be Friday at 5. Where do I want to be? Downtown Pittsfield. And the first Friday of the month will have this grandiose event, but all of the other Fridays will be pretty darn amazing too. So we encourage people to come on the first Friday of the month. First Fridays at 5. Super exciting. I mean, we are just ready for a va-va-va-voom moment of like, this is it. This is it.
And I hear from folks all the time, as I'm sure you do. Well, back in the olden days, you know, we were on North Street on Thursday night and we cruised North Street on Friday night. I think we were at the senior center and someone brought that up of, what happened to the days of just cruising up and down North Street looking for your next boyfriend or girlfriend? Mm-hmm. And it was kind of like, okay, we're moving on from there, right? It's
we have evolved.
We can't be what we used to be, but we can be something better. And I think it's important to say, even though we're going to actually tease you with First Fridays at 5 today, there'll be a press release coming out just to kind of tease you some more. But in April, we will hold a press conference in the Dunham Mall to really unleash all the First Fridays at 5 and what they will entail. But, you know, a little bit of ideas of where we're aiming is that a portion of North Street will be closed, as Jen said, probably starting with a block or 2 to begin with, and then we'll see how it goes and expand up the entire length of North Street, or as much as we can if accordingly. But we'll put the city stage down by Park Square and ensure that we have a live band. We're working on trying to line those 5 bands up now, and I'm sure that we will have some pretty exciting bands in our downtown to be able to kick it off. I think the other piece that we can throw out there is that if First Friday happens to rain, well then we won't be dampened by that. We'll have a first Saturday instead. So as we book the events, we're going to be paying attention to the fact that it's an outdoor event. And if it rains, we're not going to just say, oh, it doesn't happen. We'll hold it on Saturday night, and we'll kind of look at those stuff. But we're also going to be trying to encourage folks to utilize the entire downtown. So we may be starting down on the west end, or the south end of North Street, and working our way up the street. But we will, you know, from the beginning, have events at least from Park Square to Perseps Achille Park area, and then encouraging folks to continue on and hopefully stop and have a drink at Hotel on North and continue up and have dinner at Dorothy's, a new downtown restaurant that opened. And so it's going to be trying to encourage people to go downtown. We hear all the time that we need more businesses in downtown. I've already alluded to the next show. We'll talk about the 5 to 7 new businesses that have opened in our downtown. So I think we have to start celebrating what we're doing and shouting from the mountaintop of what we're doing. And so this event will give people the opportunity to come back downtown, to see the downtown. We've probably said a few times, hey, the Marchetti administration is going to be about be bold or go home. We're going to make some bold changes. We're going to try to bring people to the downtown. Sure, we're probably going to disgruntle a few folks in the process, but hey, you can't make change happen without doing something different along the way. And so
it's super exciting. It's going to be so exciting. And downtown Pittsfield is happening on the weekends and beyond. And you can stay downtown and go to a play at Barrington Stage, go to a show at the Colonial Theater. All of these places that you've mentioned will also likely have live music of some kind. So it is going to be the place to be. And change is okay, and change is good. Things have evolved over the course of the last 15 years. And so we say kudos to you for thinking outside the box and saying, let's do this, instead of like, all right, here we go. Where are we going this year? What are we doing this year? We gotta, change is okay. And we are embracing the change. We are celebrating it. And we are telling everyone to be a part of it because it's super exciting.
And so again, you know, be bold or go home. And we're going to
I didn't know that. Is that your motto?
That's our motto.
I like it.
You know, former Mayor Tyre had the 6 guiding principles. I think I've said be bold or go home in more meetings than I care to think about. And there's this phrase that sits in the back of my mind that I hear all the time, that's status quo. That's like, okay, we have to be bold and go home. We have to make changes. So folks, I want to thank you for tuning in for another episode of One Pittsfield with Mayor Marchetti. I want to thank Jen Gockler for both hosting us and then also for being a great partner in government. That it's time to recognize our city staff for what they do. So thank you for being voluntold.
Thank you.
And being a good sport and putting us here. And so folks, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed our little bit of a time at the Lichtenstein Center, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.